Good all day, fam? Dante Tavion's here, checking in with y'all. And I want to go ahead and go through this Thursday night recap. So, ironically, we're going to talk about, not ironically, but we're going to talk about this Patriots-Jets Thursday night game. So I'm going to do something most people online don't do. I'm going to go back to everything I said in my preview and line it up against what actually happened. That's pretty much what I do. So I picked the New York Jets to upset the Patriots 20-19. The final score was Patriots 27, the Jets 14. So the Patriots scored 4 more points than what I said, and the Jets, they scored 5 points less of what I said. So yeah, I was wrong on the pick and the score. But the crazy part is the way I broke this game down is exactly how it played out. So in the preview, in my previous video of this game, this recap, not the recap, but my predictions of this game, I said Patriots coming in 8-2, winners of 7 straight, first in the AFC East. Jets at 2-7, but on a 2-game win streak, playing their best football of the season for the past 2 weeks, not counting this game, literally past 2 weeks. And the reality was the Patriots are now 9-2 with 8 wins in a row now. The Jets, they fall to 2-8, and that little momentum bump they had is gone. So the Jets are back to being trash. So on the big picture, I had the momentum identity of both teams right. New England is climbing, the Jets are scraping. So the identity matchup was that the main thing I was talking about, the outcomes of this game, of what can determine this game, was the Jets run game versus the Patriots run defense. If the Jets run game could overcome the Patriots dominant run defense, this is kind of like the battles of the, Titans or something, Clash of the Titans or something, Jets run game versus the Patriots run defense, because that's the best thing that the Jets got going for themselves. In the preview, I said this game comes down to one thing: Jets run game versus the Patriots run defense. The Jets run for 141.8 yards a game. That's the 4th best in the NFL. The Patriots, they allow only 79 a game, best run D in the league. So if New England shuts that down early, it gets real hard for the Jets to come on top and win. And that's exactly what happened. Jets, they came out with that long opening drive. They tried to establish the run. Looked good early, and once the Patriots settled in, the run game got bottled up and their offense stalled. So the identity matchup, I didn't necessarily nail it because I thought that maybe the Jets could probably get that going, and I was wrong. And a big part when I was wrong was because I do like giving bold predictions. I like giving bold predictions because I want to experiment, I want to see if it can actually happen. I think sometimes, too many times, that maybe we can look too much into stats and how the teams are actually playing from the previous week. But sometimes football is about matchups. It's a complementary game, and it's an execution game, and it's a momentum game. And sometimes that's how those teams that we never thought that could beat one team, they end up winning. And I was thinking that the Jets probably could do that, and they didn't do it. So a team with the better run defense and structure dictated the game. So I had the Jets' keys to the game, and this is how they felt, all of them. I put out what the Jets needed to do for them to win, and they didn't execute any of them. And I said, so I predicted the Jets to win because I figured that they probably could do these things, and they didn't. So I was like, if they can do it, they can win. If they don't do that, they're going to lose. And that's exactly what happened. So I laid out the exact formula the Jets needed. Breece Hall has to take over. I literally said he's the engine. 272 scrimmage yards, and 4 fourth-quarter touchdowns over the last 2 weeks. If he's rolling, the Jets do have life. If he's contained, if he's bottled up, it's going to be a long night for their entire offense, and really for their entire team. The Jets defense has to create chaos. I mentioned Will McDonald's 4 sacks on 3rd and 4th down last week. And I said they needed that same energy. Pressure on Drake May and forced mistakes. They didn't do that. I also said the Jets needs to win the 4th quarter. I pointed out 97 points in the 4th quarter this year. That's the 2nd most in the entire league. So if they can, this is why I predicted the Jets, because I was hoping that they was going to do that. I was hoping AG could start having people raise some eyebrows. Be like, okay, I see the Jets going now. They just get 3 in a row. Couldn't do it. And then if they would have done it in Foxborough, they would have gained so much respect. They would have gained so much respect for the entire league, man. But they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it, man. I pointed, like I said, 97 points in the fourth quarter. That's second most in NFL. That's their idea. So, so if they would have won the fourth quarter, they would have capitalized on the run game with Breece Hall, and they would have dominated on defense. There's no way why they couldn't have won this game. They didn't do any of that. So, but hey, now what actually happened? What was the actually outcome? Breece Hall, he never took over the game. Never. No dominant rushing presence whatsoever. The Patriots took him out. The defense did not create chaos. There was no game-flipping turnovers, no consistent pressure that rattled Drake May, none of that. And that was the results. The Jets did not win the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter team disappeared when it mattered. So the exact three things I circled as non-negotiable for a Jets upset, they didn't hit on any of them, and that's why my upset pick died. I don't really like using the word upsets in NFL. Like when I'm talking about NFL teams, I feel like upset stops when you get to the NFL. Even in pros, I don't care. Any other pro leagues, XFL, AFL, whatever, Canadian, we could say upset for that. But when we talk about the NFL, I just don't think there's no such thing as NFL because we're talking about the elite of the elite. Any team can beat any team, man. Any team can. I don't care if it's the Browns against. I'm trying to think of the most dominant team right now in the NFL. Maybe the Seahawks. Maybe the Seahawks are the most dominant team right now in the NFL. I'm trying to think who's more dominant than the Seahawks. Like, just complete team. Not the Eagles. Let me think. Let's just say Seahawks. If anybody had a better team that's more dominant than the Seahawks right now, please chime in on the chat and let me know. Comment who's the most dominant team right now in the NFL. But I'm going to say the Seahawks at the top of my head. And so I don't care if it's the Browns against the Seahawks. The Browns, they do have a shot to beat the Seahawks, even though how asinine that sounds. Why? Because, again, this is the elite of the elite. This is the NFL, man. If the cards is played right, if the momentum is right, if that team is rolling on all cylinders, if the execution is nailed perfectly, it can happen, man. It can happen. I'm just saying, but hey. But anyway, I forgot where I was at. I lost where I was at, but yeah. But let's talk about the Patriots keys. What I said about the Patriots, I said New England, they have to protect Drake May, no turnovers, and they need to hit 20 plus points. Literally, that's exactly what they did. Let's talk about starting off with protecting Drake May. I said in their 2 losses, he was sacked 4 plus times. Keep him upright, and they stay on the script. B, no turnovers, especially no picks. I brought up the stat. The Patriots are 7-0 when they don't throw away an interception. I think in Drake May's stat line, he had 0 picks last night. Letter C. I said to control the scoreboard, the Patriots needs to hit 20 plus points. I said the Pats are 5-0 when they score 20 or more. They don't need to be explosive. They just need to be efficient. And that's exactly what happens. And if I'm throwing y'all off by saying A, B, and C, I was just giving you like my bullet points, whatever, my notes. But so this is what actually happened. Drake May was clean and efficient. He was super accurate. He was in rhythm. No meltdown moments. Drake May was elite. He is elite right now. He is playing like a top 5 quarterback. I'm happy to seeing this from Drake May. I'm very happy of seeing this, and I will be honest with you. I didn't know what to. I wasn't big or low on Drake May. I was just like, we're gonna have to see. Now I will say this. Well, let me finish this. Let me finish like this story, Nelson. I'll go to Drake. I'll go to my past history about Drake May. So I said in Drake May, he had no interceptions. That's the exact don't throw a pick and you win script that came true. Drake May was clean and efficient. She was super accurate, rhythm, no meltdown moments, no interceptions. He didn't throw a pick. And what happened? The Patriots, they scored 27 points. They hit that 20-plus range. I talked about this. And once they did, the game was basically locked. So on the Patriots side, my entire blueprint for how they win is exactly how they won. And I'm not going to take the credit and say my blueprint. I mean, I'm not the coach. I honestly believe Mike Vrabel is doing this because it's so obvious now. It's just like they are consistent. They are literally the most consistent team in the entire NFL. Now, this is funny. I'm talking about the most elite team, the most dominant team in the NFL. New England is right up there with the Seahawks. How ironic is that? I'm literally like thinking like, what other team is dominant? What other team is the best team in the NFL right now? New England too. you know, yeah, definitely New England in the Seahawks is right there. Now I don't know any other team that's more complete and more dominant than both of those teams. Now, I'm going to obviously go with the Seahawks because I'm going to root for my USC quarterbacks. So I'm going to say the Seahawks are the most complete team, or the best team. And if the Seahawks were to go head to head with the Patriots, I'm going to say go. I'm going to go with Seattle. Drake May and Sam Darnold, they both are playing at elite level right now. Sam Darnold had a couple bad games this year, but Drake May, he hasn't looked bad at all. So the Patriots probably have a better running game than the Seahawks, but the Seahawks got a better receiver. Lord have mercy. JSN is what he's like. You can make a case that he's better than Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying you can argue that. Like I said, Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson is 1A and B. JSN is 1C. You know what I'm saying? So he up there, boy. But I remember when I was at the NFL Combine the year when Drake May, before Drake May got drafted, obviously because of the Combine. But I was debating with this dude. I was like, Drake May might be nice. I remember this conversation, and he was just saying like how he just thinks Drake May is just going to be he's just some privileged white kid that he ain't really done nothing in college, yada yada yada, and he just getting overhyped, whatever. One of those privileged white boys quarterbacks, that came out of a prestigious college. I mean, UNC is not really all that prestigious as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, that's what he was saying. And I was just like, I don't know, bro. Like, I mean, his tangibles, like his tape looks good. He looks like he has really good intangibles. He has a good physique. He has a good structure. He's built like a very strong quarterback. He's very athletic. He's young, and I mean, and if he goes to the right team, gets the right coaching. I think he can probably do well. Maybe I didn't watch enough of him in college to know, to have a real strong opinion on him. But from what I saw, by doing some studies on him, I was just like, he looks. I don't know if he goes to the right situation, I can see him blossom in time. I was just like Drake May. I think was like, I will say, like, the way I looked at Drake May was that I felt he needs time to develop. I was like, he's very raw. He has all the talent. He has the intangibles. He just needs the time to develop. So I was slowly just waiting to see what can actually happen. I was going to give Drake May like 3, 4, 5 years to really have a real strong opinion on him. Now I have a very strong opinion on him because he didn't need 3, 4, 5 years to really blossom as an elite quarterback. He is now literally an elite quarterback, and I will put Drake May over Josh Allen. If we're drafting right now, I would draft Drake May over Josh Allen. Here's the funny thing. You know what? Before I go deep into that, I wanna just let me finish up this real quick because I got something to say about Josh Allen. But so let's say the coaching culture, Vrabel versus Aaron Glenn. In the preview, I talked about Mike Vrabel having New England playing disciplined, physical, consistent football. Aaron Glenn having the Jets fighting, saying it will be a fight. That's what Aaron Glenn said. And talking about their blueprint, their confidence, and how they're building something. That's exactly how it looked on the field. Patriots played like a team with a clear identity and established culture. Smart, physical, efficient. The Jets, they played like trash. They played like a team that's going through it, emotionally tough, but they're just structurally incomplete. They do fight, but they don't have a reliable formula to win games like this. And it's obvious that the New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel, he has a winning formula because they literally are in patterns winning games with the same formula. Like, literally. So again, my read on the coaching and culture, I think that was on point. And so this is where I missed real quick, the pick and the score prediction. So now let's be real where I was wrong. At the end of the preview, I said I don't see the Jets beating New England, but I'm going to go with the Jets in a surprising win. My final score, I said the Jets was going to win 20-19, and the actual outcome was the Patriots won 27-14. So I was wrong on the winner, the floor of the fourth quarter, and off by 14 points on the Patriots side and 6 on the Jets side. So I think why I was wrong on this because I gave the Jets recent momentum and fourth quarter magic too much weight. That's what I said earlier. and I didn't fully lean into what my own analysis was already telling me. So that's what I'm saying. I'm big on execution. I'm just like, if these teams are gonna have to execute on this, they can win, you know. Or if the team doesn't execute on that, they can win. Or sometimes both teams can both be executing the game plan to the T, but one team can be executing a little bit more. Can have a little bit more momentum. I didn't need beats, so you know. So let's just yeah. So let's see. So so when you line up everything, I said in the preview with how this game actually played out, my process was right, my pick was wrong. I built the perfect case for a Patriots win and tried to be bold and take the Jets. So the field, so yeah, so it's cool. It's cool to have bold predictions, but I guess sometimes you have to look at the reality of it. So this is a thing I want to talk about with Josh Allen because I I was watching Nightcap and they said that Bleacher Report came out and had their list of overrated quarterbacks. And I can't remember the list by verbatim, but I do remember I think I do remember the quarterbacks on that list. They said Lamar Jackson, Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence. I can't remember the other ones. You know what? Let me find out right now. Hold on. What was the Bleacher Report on overrated quarterbacks? Let's see here. As that's pulling up. Okay, here's what. Okay, let's look. Let's look. Hmm. So let's see. Let's look at Bleacher Report. Okay, so Jordan Love is up there. So they got number 5 Trevor Lawrence, number 4 Dak Prescott, number 3 Justin Herbert, number 2 Jordan Love, number 1 Lamar Jackson. It's completely disrespectful. It's disrespectful for the 2 quarterbacks that's on that list. You guys already know how I feel about Justin Herbert, and I'll probably do another video on this because you know, no, I'm not. It's not probably. I am. This is just going to build. This is just going to add to more a video that I was already planning on building. Actually, for a while now, I want to say for like maybe like 2 years, 2 or 3 years, I wanted to build. I have been contemplating, and I just haven't had a chance to do it. You guys know how my schedule is. I was contemplating on making a video of the most overrated quarterbacks in NFL today, and also making another video on how disrespected, building my case on how disrespected Justin Herbert is, and how underrated he is. And I wanted to throw Caleb Williams in there too with being underrated. I think the media is starting to just pick up on Caleb Williams a little bit, but how disrespectful they were on Caleb Williams. You know, you guys all know what I said about Caleb Williams before he even entered the draft. You know, you guys know how I feel about Caleb Williams. You guys know how I feel about Justin Herbert. You guys know how I feel about Josh Allen. You guys know how I feel about Joe Burrow. You guys know how I feel about those type of quarterbacks. I have said Patrick Mahomes is a little bit overrated. I have said that Josh Allen is heavily overrated. I have said that Joe Burrow is intensely overrated. I have written. I don't know if I said it on these videos enough, but because I think by the time when I started making these videos, doing these YouTube videos and all day, Trevor Lawrence was kind of off people's lists of being a top tier quarterback. But when Trevor Lawrence still first got into the league, you had idiots like Nick Wright praising him how great he was and disrespecting Justin Herbert. And I'm going to call him an idiot because you're an idiot if you're going to say Justin Herbert being a top 5 quarterback is asinine. You're dumb. Like guys like Skip Bayless, guys like Nick Wright, and I'm going to call them out. I'm trying to think of some more idiots that disrespects Justin Herbert. I don't care. I don't, they don't matter that much for me to even try to remember their names. But any person on the media who wants to disrespect Justin Herbert, any fan too, and say that he's trash, he's overrated, he's not a top 5 quarterback, you are a complete dumbass. Period. And I don't care how that makes you feel. I don't care about your feelings because it's disrespectful. It's even for me calling you a dumbass doesn't hold up to the weight of how disrespectful you are by saying Justin Herbert is not an elite top 5 quarterback. The only argument that you guys all regurgitate is the fact that Justin Herbert hasn't won a playoff game. And if you actually watch the freaking, I'm trying not to curse because I really don't like cursing, but this is what really pisses me off. And I don't think I've ever got as much pissed off by a player in all my times of playing football and watching football since 2004. Obsessively training 12 hours a day to play in the NFL, like with the psychopathic mindset that I had, like I was willing to give limbs just to play it down in the NFL. I was a late bloomer. I didn't play football when I was a kid, so I didn't have much opportunity when to play. But whatever, I digress. Even when I was debating about Tom Brady, I don't think I got this pissed off. Because I was even when I didn't really know what I was talking about when I first watched football. The first game I watched was the Eagles and the Patriots. Terrell Owens instantly became one of my favorite players of all time, my favorite wide receiver of all time, and then Tom Brady became my favorite player of all time. I just watched that game. The Super Bowl was my first game that I've ever watched. First game, I instantly just praised T.O. and Tom Brady. Why? Because it was the first game I watched and I didn't know anything about football, and I was going into I was going to play football for the first time ever later on that year in fall. You know what I'm saying? So I was like, oh, Tom Brady, look how great he is. Look how great T.O. Oh, they're my favorites. And I just started just saying, I didn't know what I was talking about. I just started just saying Tom Brady was the greatest player of all time. I didn't know who all the other quarterbacks were. I didn't even know who all the other great players were. I didn't know who John Elway was. I didn't know who Joe Montana was. I didn't know who any of those people. I was just like, Tom Brady's the greatest of all time. Turned out I was correct. You know what I'm saying? Turned out I was completely correct. And I'm saying the same thing about Justin Herbert. I'm not gonna right now say that he's the greatest of all time, but he definitely will. I think he definitely, when it's all said and down, he definitely will go down as the greatest. And I'm not going to go deep into why I say that. I talked about this in previous videos, so if you really have a curiosity of why I would say that, go look at my other videos. But I don't look at just wins and losses and Super Bowls as starting that off with quarterbacks. Comparing my quarterbacks. I don't do it. So you can mark this right now. Like, I'm telling you, this is prophecy speaking that, yes, Justin Herbert will go down as the greatest quarterback of all time. I don't give a damn. You know what I'm saying? One thing I don't mind is being wrong, but I don't think I will be wrong. I think now Justin Herbert has the perfect coach. He has the perfect general manager, and he has the perfect skill set. He has a perfect mindset. He has perfect intelligence for it to happen, And he's getting better. And also, why I think Josh Allen is very overrated. And I hate that I'm saying this because I don't be triggered to say how overrated Josh Allen is until I see the media make some excuses for him. I was watching what's the name of that show? I don't care, but it's the show with Nick Wright on it, and this idiot, Nick Wright's an idiot, but the other guy, the other white guy on there, he's an idiot because he's made the most dumbest statement that I just want. I was really gonna do another video on this, but somehow I got into this because I guess I was just talking about quarterbacks. I'm like how I would draft Drake May over Josh Allen. So now I'm talking about this. This was actually going to be a separate video, but F it. We just talk about it right now. This fool said, because I also was going to put up. I'm like, you know what? This is copywriting. I'll do another video on this. But this idiot said, and I'm paraphrasing, but he said that because Danny, I forget the guy's last name, but I think his name is Danny. He defends Justin Herbert. He's one of the few analysts who defends Justin Herbert. But he doesn't. I'm like, dude, you could say this, you could say that. He doesn't push a big enough argument. And I'm like, bro, and I get it. I think because Nick Wright like bullies him. Like Nick Wright literally bullies him with the debates. Like I'm literally watching it. Like he will try to make his case, and then Nick Wright will just get all emotional and act like what he's saying is just dumb. He'll kind of like gaslight him. Like I can't stand Nick Wright. Like I hate Nick Wright's takes. I hate his takes. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not talking about Nick Wright as a person. I'm talking about him as what he does in his business. All these analysts, I'm talking about what they do in the business. I'm not talking about like literally what they are as a person, their personal life. I don't know them to talk about who they are as a person. But I am saying this. I am saying how yeah, and so man, I was on a roll and I forgot my phone started ringing, so I apologize about y'all about that. But hold on, let me put this on mute because I'm on a roll right now. But yeah, I was talking about like how I would draft Drake May over Josh Allen because now I see Drake May, he has talent that Josh Allen doesn't have. And yeah, obviously Josh Allen has talent that Drake May doesn't have. But here's the thing: Drake May is a better passer than Josh Allen. He's a better distributor of the ball than Josh Allen. Drake May he's still young, but how fast he has blossomed, he has all my respect, all my I'll give him all the credit. It took Josh Allen a little bit to blossom. And there's the thing when I see Josh Allen, and why I say Josh Allen is so overrated. When I see Josh Allen, and why I will draft Drake May over Josh Allen, given what I've seen so far, and I'm going ahead and saying right now, like I don't need to see more. I see it. Why I will draft Drake May over Josh Allen is because Josh Allen's game is limited to the position that he plays. We have seen the best of Josh Allen. He's not going to get any better than what he already is. Josh Allen is the type of quarterback who needs certain things that is often overlooked to go right for him to prevail. You see Josh Allen, he will snap off, he will play well, he will play great. And then every now and then we'll see him knock off on a game. And what the media will do is they'll say, "Oh, he's doesn't have any talent." That's what the media will say. The media, I have seen since Josh Allen got into the league, I've literally seen the media boost him up, all the like intensely. Even when he was like not even playing well, like even before Brian Daboll, made him into a good player and all that. I've listened to the entire media just pushing the narrative that Josh Allen is going to be great, pushing it, yada yada yada. They kept doing it, and Josh Allen turned the ball over a little bit too much for me early in his days, and so I saw how they quickly turned that around. They got Joe Brady, and stuff, and then Stephon Diggs came through for him and everything, and that was the thing. It eventually became, oh, Stephon Diggs was the problem between him and Josh Allen. Stephon Diggs, now, and then when they talked about Stephon Diggs left, they were like, okay, now Josh Allen, he doesn't have the pressure to pass the ball to an elite wide receiver. Now he can really come through. And here's the thing. The Bills, they changed up that offense to cater to Josh Allen's talents more, because Josh Allen is a running first quarterback. He has never impressed me with his passing abilities. Never has. And I'm not saying they're bad, but they're not top 5. They're not to the elite of how the media tries to make him. Yes, he wins games. Yes, he does come through. Those things are true. But what also can be true is that he is in an organization that puts him in the best place for him to do those things. And not all other quarterbacks, not all the players has that same luxury. That's the situation that I keep talking about with Justin Herbert. When they say, like, when you ask somebody right now, be like, is Josh Allen a first ballot Hall of Famer? Can he be compared to Tom Brady, yada, 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 when it's all said and done? I think a vast majority of people say yes. And I will say you are a complete idiot for saying that. Because no case. I don't see Josh Allen being in the same spectrum at all on the same level as Tom Brady. But I think some people will go to the extreme of saying that, And like I've always said, Josh Allen is a running back that can throw, or a fullback that can throw, and it shows. You take Josh Allen's running game away from him, he's going to make some bad throws, or he's not going to show up, and that has been the case for the past few weeks. That's always been the case. It's always been the case. If you take away his greatest asset away from him, which I will say your running game should not be your greatest asset as a quarterback. Or if it is one of your greatest assets, if it is your greatest asset, it shouldn't be the greatest. It should be one of the greatest. So if you're a great runner, you need to damn sure be a great passer because you are a quarterback. So for Josh Allen, he doesn't impress because I think he's very overrated because he's not a great passer. I think he's a okay passer or maybe good, but definitely not great. And that's why I'm saying like he's overrated. You know, there's only so many times when teams actually does take away his running game, but when they do, he's in a shell. And then the media says, "Oh, he doesn't have enough help." When literally you were just saying that Stephon Diggs was more than likely the problem. And now that Josh Allen doesn't have number one, he can be great. You guys praised Josh Allen for saying that he didn't have any weapons when he won MVP. Now, the following year, now he doesn't have enough talent. I hear Aqib Talib said that. I hear Shady say it. I hear a lot of the media says that. And that's not right. Which one is it? It can't be both. And it damn sure can't be both if you're not going to be consistent with your takes when it comes to other quarterbacks. That's what pisses me off about a lot of these analysts or commentators or whatever, or spectators, whatever, in the media. Because it's obvious how biased they are. And it's obvious that they're not honest with their takes. They're just praising who they want to praise and they're criticizing who they want to criticize. It doesn't have anything to do with the games, especially with these quarterbacks. Because what they do every single time when they start off with talking about these quarterbacks, they start off with wins, losses, playoff wins, Super Bowls. They start off with those things. Four of the most shallowest things you can start off with when it comes to quarterbacks. I hardly ever hear them talk about like their game by play game. The way they distribute the ball, the way they pass the ball, their anticipatory throws, the intelligence, their football IQ, how if they are a gunslinger or if they're a field general, or if they're more of a game manager, or if they're a situational quarterback. I hardly hear them talk about stuff like that. The decision making on the field, the situation of the game, the type of defense that they're playing against. All that I hardly hear them talk about all that stuff. They don't talk about the nuances in the hidden details of the game. They start off with the most generic, shallow thing ever, and they run away with that, and they stop there to praise who they want to praise and criticize who they want to criticize. And it pisses me off because they do that, and they do that to criticize Justin Herbert even more because they ignore the situation of the playoff games that Justin Herbert was in. I watched every single game of Justin Herbert. And I will tell you right now, Justin Herbert is better than Patrick Mahomes. He's better than Josh Allen. He's better than Lamar Jackson. He's better than all of them. And that will be proven. It's already proven. But in time, the entire media is going to be sucking Justin Herbert's dick, talking about how great of a quarterback he is when it's all said and done. And I'm going to come back to this video. I'm going to call every single one of those losers out. Because you decided to be disrespectful and not really do your homework and just criticize and just just criticize and just praise whoever you want to be biased against and criticize who you just don't like. Whatever the media has against Justin Herbert, I don't know, but get over it. You know, because it's not fair to him. And he doesn't have anything to say to those stupid ass media, to the losers, because they're all losers. If you're disrespecting Justin Herbert, you're a loser. I don't care. I'll say it to your face, like, you're a loser. You're an idiot. Plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? I say whatever I want to say. So, but, you know what I'm saying? And I'm going to defend my quarterback. I'm a diehard Chargers fan, and I'm a big-time Justin Herbert fan. Because I like Justin Herbert more than I like Phillip Rivers. I do. I like Phillip Rivers, but I honestly will say that Justin Herbert, obviously, is the best Chargers quarterback we've ever had. And that's that. And I want to say also, you notice that I never said Lamar Jackson was overrated. But a lot of people are starting to criticize Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was number one on Bleacher's Report. This is why I'm talking about this. Well, the reason why I'm talking about this because I was talking about how I would draft Drake May over Josh Allen because I see Drake May and I like and it has he has caught my attention on how fast he has blossomed in his second year in the NFL. He has overcame Jaden Daniels, and Drake May is only going to keep getting better from here. You can see his ceiling. You can see how slow the game is slowing down from him. It's like homie is watching every single Tom Brady take there ever was. I'm pretty sure he is. I mean, it's to the point where people are talking about he's a clone. I'm not saying going to that far saying he's like Tom Brady, but if he, like I said, you're never the same in the NFL. Like you're either getting better or worse. You know, I never thought that Lamar Jackson was ever an overrated quarterback. Never did. And Lamar Jackson, what again? He doesn't always come up. It doesn't always work in his favor in playoff games. But you guys know me on this channel. I don't go baits on that. I do. It's not my primary. It's not my primary thing that I start off with. You know what I'm saying? So Lamar Jackson is not an overrated quarterback, and he shouldn't be on that list. And it's completely disrespectful to put Lamar Jackson on that list. Lamar Jackson is definitely better than Josh Allen. He's definitely better than Joe Burrow, and I'm not going to say he's better than Patrick Mahomes. I don't think Lamar Jackson is better than Patrick Mahomes. But there's only two quarterbacks I don't think Lamar Jackson is better than: Justin Herbert and Patrick Mahomes. Now, I think Caleb Williams eventually will make a case for that. I think Sam Darnold will eventually make a case for that. Now, I might be a little bit biased with Sam Darnold, but yeah, I might be a little biased with Sam Darnold, but Sam Darnold is so young still, and he's still blossoming. And last year in that playoff loss, it wasn't all Sam Darnold. The play calling was a little off. Kevin McConnell knew he should have been running the ball a little bit better in that game, and he didn't. The past few weeks when the Vikings lost, he decided not to, and it showed up. I already talked about that in my video about that game last year. You can go back and watch that. But let's take Sam Darnold out of it. I think Caleb Williams could surpass Lamar Jackson eventually. Right now, no, he's not on the same level as Lamar, but I think Caleb Williams can be up there. If Caleb Williams keeps progressing, which I believe he will, which I know he will, he's going to be a top 5 quarterback, or at least debatable about it. But it's dumb to say Lamar Jackson is overrated. Lamar Jackson, he's a better passer than Josh Allen. That's just what it is. He is. And I think Lamar Jackson is going to continue to keep getting better. I honestly think he is. I think Josh Allen has hit his ceiling. I don't think Josh Allen is going to continue to keep getting better. I honestly don't. And it's crazy because it sucks that I had to do this because I actually like Josh Allen. I actually like Joe Burrow. The media they don't even have Joe Burrow up there. How in the hell is Joe Burrow not up there? I mean, we have never seen Joe Burrow ever in his football career without elite weaponry. And look, Justin Fields had elite weapons when he was at OSU. Everybody thought Justin Fields was going to be great, and Justin Fields went to terrible situations. He went to 2 terrible, minus the Steelers. But the Steelers, everybody knows, the Steelers is not the best place for a quarterback to go to. And Justin Fields looks terrible. He's looking like he should not be in the NFL, or he will just be a backup quarterback. So, Justin Fields, minus all those elite weapons, look at that. Look how he looks. What was the difference between Justin Fields and Joe Burrow in college? They both had elite weapons. Elite. We don't know how Joe Burrow looks without Chase and Higgins. We just don't know. And I want to see it. I want to see it. If I'm wrong, if just Joe Burrow snaps off, if somehow Jamar Chase gets hurt or Higgins get hurt or both of them out, and Joe Burrow's still doing his thing, I will stand correct. That's one thing I don't mind doing. I don't mind being wrong. That's the difference between me and a lot of these analysts. Like a lot of the analysts, when they're wrong, they will still try to press on how they're right. And you know what I'm saying? Literally gaslighting us. Gaslighting the audience. And to me, that just doesn't make you a credible analyst when you do that. Like, just be honest, bro. And if you're wrong, just admit it. And and I don't really like taking shots at these analysts, but I will if I see them deliberately disrespecting a great player. And not only a great player, but like a player that I feel for because he's my quarterback in Justin Herbert. I'm not gonna tolerate it. If you disrespect Herbert, I'm gonna disrespect you. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. So yeah, and that's that. That's all I gotta say. And so that's my Thursday night recap. And thank you all so much for watching. And we'll be back very soon on All Day Channel. Deuces.